one small decision in your life is going to change the entire trajectory of your life. And this is one thing I wish I knew whenever I started making decisions, and either in business or in life as well. So to give you context, I basically graduated from UT Austin back in 2022 in May. And then I went on a big Southeast trip with a couple of my buddies. So we went to Thailand where we're training Muay Thai in Phuket for a month. And then we went over to Vietnam where we basically went all the way north, Ha Giang Loop, all the way south to Saigon. And then we flew over to Bali. And after this trip, I've really just realized my goal, I had a multi six-figure software engineering job lined up for me. And after this trip, I just really wanted to make 400, 500 bucks a month and then just move to Vietnam full time and just travel, go to be a backpacker and just live a very minimum lifestyle. And without this trip, I think I would have had less of a risk tolerance of trying to travel and being more so in the States. So then I was in Houston for probably 4 months. That's when I decided to just pack my bags, move all the way across the country to San Diego, where I was also there for another 4 months. And when I was there in San Diego, I think every single day, no matter, San Diego is nice. I was in La Jolla. The beaches are nice. The food is good, really good Mexican food. But there's always something that was craving me to go abroad. And it was not until my 23rd birthday where I booked a one-way directly to Budapest. And that's what kind of changed the trajectory of my life. And that's when I just fell in love with Budapest, fell in love with Europe. And without that one choice of me packing my bags to go to Asia, I don't think I would have ever just traveled all over the country, all over the world, actually. Because right now I've probably been to almost 40 countries at the age of 25. And without that one trip to Asia, I probably would just stay put in the US, like a lot of my friends are. In Budapest, basically afterwards, I went over to Buenos Aires for 3 months. Going to Buenos Aires, being in Budapest, everybody speaks English. And you go to a restaurant, people speak English. On the street, people speak English. But then whenever you go to Buenos Aires, Latin America, I would say maybe 10, 15% of people actually speak English. So I went to Buenos Aires with zero Spanish. I was basically fighting for my life to basically order at restaurants and just figure out how to read stuff on the signs and stuff. And it was not until I went to Buenos Aires where I met one of my buddies. So he was in sales, door-to-door, multiple years, top sales rep for door-to-door in Canada for his company. And then we just started talking more about business. We went to our first cigar lounge, smoked a cigar. He showed me around a lot of nice spots, sushi restaurants. And then we constantly drilled on like sales and just talking about business, because that's what I was really passionate about when I was 16. I've done all of the businesses you can ever imagine online, like Amazon FBA, dropshipping, stock trading, SaaS, and then going back into the agency game. So that one trip basically taught me sales, got me to actually start my first business, which when I first got started, I didn't understand any of the sales and marketing side. So I basically paid this guy like $15K for a 6-month program plus 15% cash collected over 6 months. And that's when I really just learned the ropes of online business, how to manage a team, the sales and marketing, funnels, automations, JHL, Zapier, Make, the whole shebang. And that one trip to Buenos Aires kind of just changed the whole trajectory of, even this video, me making this video and you watching it, like me talking about my business experiences, talking about every single, trial and triumph I've been through in business was all because of that one trip and that one decision. When I was in Budapest, making that one decision, one-way flight directly to Buenos Aires, basically changed the trajectory of my life, right? And you probably have a lot of those decisions in front of you that you're kind of pushing off away that you're not currently making. And that one decision, no matter what you make, is going to change the trajectory of your life, right? It could be for the worse, could be for a better, but that's all in the beauty of life. Let's say you go to a bar tonight or on Friday with your best friends and you see a cute girl and you actually ask her out on a date, right? That could be your wife one day. Or it could be your worst nightmare of worst nightmare girlfriend as well. So every single decision you make on a day-to-day basis could potentially just change the whole trajectory of your life. Very similar to like a butterfly effect, right? One small change is going to have downstream impacts of everything. But I think a lot of people don't make that decision. So there's a lot of online businesses and decisions to make. Like, you're probably on YouTube, you're probably watching all these business content, info gurus online, and you're just consuming it all. You're getting that dopamine. Even me, before I started my business, I love to watch like these, Tai Lopez, Iman Gadzhi videos, because it felt like I was doing something in my life and actually starting a business. But in reality, it was just like that dopamine spike every single day before bed. I just like keep being spiked with that dopamine, and it felt like I was accomplishing a lot and just learning about business. But in reality, I wasn't even in the trenches. So there's going to be a lot of options for you to pick, but you really just need to pick one and go down the path. I've tried all the business models that's out there, and I still think the best business for a beginner to start is definitely agency game or service-based business, where you're trading your time for a business owner to pay you, and you're generating them leads, or you're automating some workflow in their current work stream. And right now with AI, you need to combine AI with a service to basically just automate it a lot for you. But in the beginning, you could just do something manual. And having that decision, really, this video is more so me just yapping about my experience of traveling and life decisions I've made, but you really need to make that decision to start. It's going to take you down a completely different route than the one you are now. Your life in the beginning is going to get a hell of a lot worse. Just like my life was when I was in Buenos Aires, my first month in business, because you're going to have all that self-doubt. You're not going to know how to break through bottlenecks. You're going to be stressed. People are going to no-show you on a call, and then you're going to, it's going to trigger your emotions, right? But as you grow in business, as you grow, like any challenges in life, the more challenges are always going to come. But the more we know how to handle challenges, the better of a person we become, the more durable we become as a person in terms of like emotional strength and also like mental strength as well. So all that's going to come, I'm not going to lie to you, it's going to be hard, but it'll for sure 100% be worth it. And whether you want to settle down in the US, or you want to travel, or you want to start a SaaS company, you want to start an info company, you want to start a agency, the choice is for you to make, and one day you will have to make that choice. I remember when I was 16 up till 23, I did all the different business models, but it was only until when I was 23 I made a choice to commit all into one business model is when I actually saw the success. And the main thing that was holding me back was basically from 16 to 23, that was 7 years of progress, right? 7 years of learning lessons through life, 7 years of going to a gym, trying out different foods, just enjoying life. And the main thing I was always a stickler was I always wanted to have a business, and I just didn't, ever start on it. So the biggest thing when I got started in the program was basically I need to do something now so the next 7 years don't look like the past 7 years, because you're hell of a lot better getting started now versus 7 years later, where you might have more responsibilities, you might have kids, you might have a spouse. If you already have kids, you already have a spouse, even getting started now is better than you 7 years down the line, because you're always going to push it off. There's always going to be things you need to do or you want to do right now. But the biggest thing in life is like if you ask people on their deathbed what they regret in their life, it's always that they didn't take that one trip to Europe when they were younger. They didn't travel more. They didn't ask out that one girl. They didn't start that business. They didn't take that risk on themselves and actually just got started. And that's always the biggest regret, is not making a choice. It's not that all the choices that they had, it's just like not picking that one choice that they really wanted. And that one choice is going to change the trajectory of your life without you even knowing it. And all I wanted to say for this video is just find that choice you want to make that choice. It's going to make your life completely different than it is now, but just sit back, relax, and enjoy the journey, because you'll have a lot of stories to tell as a result. And that's all I have for this video.